欢迎回来到西医社。今天要带给大家的这部影片是 Frank 讲在生活中以及训练上低漏的重要性。那简单告诉各位什么是低漏呢？就是减量训练。当你在不管是生活还是训练累积到非常多的压力的时候，你必须要先退后，先休息一阵子，才能让你之前努力的成果更好的发挥。那以下就让我们看 Frank 怎么用艺术性的角度去解释这个观点。Let's go.
Anyway, so I got a question. Someone asked me, I've been training hardcore for 2 years. And when do you think I should take a break? You know, and this guy is, like a lot of athletes, he's obsessed with training. He's like, I can't even stay out of the gym for more than 2 days. You know, he's addicted to training almost. So I told him, you've been going like that with the same intensity and the same attitude for 2 years. You got to back off. Because that's when you see your gains. It's when you back off. I told him you gotta deload. If you've been training 2 years, man, I think it'd be good if you just take like a whole 2 weeks, just do nothing. And then after that 2 weeks, man, your gains are gonna explode. You know why? It's called overcompensation. I'm sure a lot of you guys heard of this. Basically, it's when you try to sort of overreach. See, I don't like the word overtraining. You know, overtraining sort of implies that you're just not making any gains. But overreaching is what the term Eric Cressy used to use. He said that to overreach on purpose, sort of just overtrain by a little bit. Because if you don't overtrain at all, if you just stay trying to if your stress level is always the same, you're not going to make gains. But if you overtrain too much, you're going to not make gains either. But you overreach just a little bit. But when you really see your gains is when you take a week of deload. I used to, when I was training really heavily and really intensively, I used to take a deload week every 5th or even 4th week, every 5th week, So what that means is that I would train hard for 4 weeks, and then 5th week, I don't completely back off. Sometimes I do, listen to my body. If I went really hardcore, if I did small off for 7 weeks, I didn't do small, I'm just saying. And then I would on the end of that program, just take a really easy week. I'll reduce the volume and intensity by more than half. Just fuck around the gym, and then that's when your gains, because your gains have been suppressed when you sort of overreach. It's all built up inside you, And then when you back up, that's when he shoots over the top. It's kind of like not masturbating for 10 days, and it's building up, and then sort of like that. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, and that's why deload is really important. Because you see, all my PRs were done or planned out exactly the time that I'm deloading. Because after the deload or during it is when you're the strongest, when you're the most explosive. So you don't just go and test your PR whenever you want. You have to plan it out. See, when I was training with Eric Cressy, he used to give me a really complicated sort of scheme of how to really carefully plan out your overreaching. I was a really advanced athlete, so with CNS shit. So you guys don't need to do this, but I'm just saying that I used to do. He used to give me sort of a wave sort of training. I think a lot of pro athletes do this, Olympic lifters too. That's why they're able to train so much. So they really watch out. They go on waves. So the first week, here's the typical protocol where I was training for my 40-inch vertical. On the first week, I would train heavy, what Eric Cressy called the heavy week. Second week, medium. Third week, extremely heavy. Guess what the 4th week is? Deload week, very light. You see that wave? First week you overreach a little, and the second week you back up just a little bit, because the first week you didn't really go that heavy, but the third week, boom, you go fucking heavy. You go kill yourself, because you can't. You're supposed to kill yourself. In 4th week, you back off completely, and that's when you see your gains. And that works like a charm, man, I'm telling you. And bodybuilding guys, you guys don't have to worry as much about this. You don't have to plan it out as much and take deload as much, because it's not as CNS intensive. But I would say that every 6 weeks you have to deload. And if you don't want to stay out of the gym, just do really light stuff. That's when you see your gains. And I want to say that you can apply this to everything in life. Because let me give you an example. Violin. My teacher used to tell me that every 2 weeks, take 1 day off, and then when you get back on in the next day, you feel really fresh. This is one of the best things you can do in a relationship. Be super nice to your girlfriend 1 month or 1 week or whatever, and it's longer, and the deload has to be longer, right? And then for the next week or for the next few days, just fucking ignore her, and she's gonna
the week that you're with nicer, she might be like, oh, she might feel a little bit, and she might think you're too sweet and too needy. And then when you just try to sort of just back up, she's gonna want you more. But she's like, where did Frank go? I needed Frank who was really needy. And then like you come back and be even more needy to her. And then the next time you do a deal with her, don't talk to her at all, or whatever. You're gonna mess. That's how you keep relationships alive.
When you're practicing, when you're working really hard, you don't see your gains because it's been built up and suppressed inside. And I would say it's true when even for mental aesthetics. I keep talking about making mind gains. I remember two or 3 years ago, I was reading every day. I was reading just fucking everything I could get my hands on. And by the end of like, I was doing that for like a couple of years, and then my head was like fucking gonna explode. It's just like at the end I was just like, man, I'm not even sure if I understand what I'm reading anymore. It's just like I was fried, mentally fried, And then like I think last summer you saw me making a lot of like vlogs, and you see me being really a lot more articulate this past years, because especially during the summer, like I didn't do a lot of reading. That's when I started really blogging on YouTube and really talking about abstract shit. And that summer, I was just like, I'm fucking, I'm like, just gonna take a break from the, I think taking psychedelics really helped too, like smoking, because like that's really, I think that's the best thing I ever did. It was like read hardcore for 2 years, and then for that deload summer, I just smoked a lot, and then all this shit that that would that I learned that built up inside my mind were just boom. Every time I smoke, I finally got it. It's like the neurons didn't connect until I took mushrooms when I smoked.
And see, here's a misconception about doing those drugs. And like a lot of people think that you can just be creative, or this is you think like this because of those substances. It's not true. Basically, psychedelics or weed, what they do is they sort of blow up what you already know, what you have inside. If you're mindless to begin with, you have nothing inside, you can smoke as much if you want, take as much acid if you want. You might come to some observations, but those observations aren't going to amount to anything if you don't have the base. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think if you give Einstein LSD or weed, he's gonna get a lot more out of it and have a lot more better ideas than if you give like a high school dropout LSD. It's not the drug itself that's gonna make you more creative.
So that's all of today's video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you. Peace.